Today we'll be talking about a herb with a history of medicinal, culinary, and even magical uses, fennel, or in Latin, Feniculum vulgare. Once popular as a food and medicine in ancient Egypt, a snake remedy in China, and even a way to drive away evil spirits if you hung it over your doorway in the Middle Ages, fennel has made a name for itself throughout history. Unfortunately though, that door hanging trick stopped working around the Renaissance. Fennel has a legendary connection to the marathon. When ancient Athenian Pheidippides was running the world's first marathon to Sparta to gather assistance with a battle, he was reportedly carrying a stalk of fennel. Why? Because the Battle of Marathon between Greek and Persia fought in 490 BC was waged on a field of fennel. Besides the bloodshed and chaos, it must have been a pretty fragrant battleground. Fennel is a member of the carrot or parsley family and is related to cumin, dill, carry, and anise, which are all seed-producing plants. You might find that fennel tastes a lot like mild black licorice if you found it in the wild, which makes sense because anise is the main flavor for black licorice. But don't just go tasting fennel out in the world, or you might end up severely poisoning yourself. Fennel has a deadly lookalike, poison hemlock, and only a little bit of it can kill an adult. Let's just say that it wasn't fennel that killed Socrates, it was poison hemlock. Maybe if he had watched this video, he could have lived a bit longer and had a nicer tasting experience. Don't be like Socrates. Make sure you are 100% sure that you're eating fennel before you dive in. You can tell the difference between fennel and poison hemlock by the smell. Like I said, fennel is going to smell sweet like black licorice. Poison hemlock does not smell like that. Also, poison hemlock has purple blotches on the stalks, but fennel does not have the purple blotches. When in doubt though, don't pick it. And even if you do identify some fennel with 100% certainty, please don't eat a ton. At even just 1 milliliter of concentrated fennel oil, you can get nausea, vomiting, and even seizures. It's not all bad though. Everything about fennel besides the roots is edible, and the seeds in particular make an awesome additive to bread, biscuits, Italian foods, pickles, and vegetables of all kinds. You can often find coated fennel seeds being served as a post-meal digestive aid in Asian or Indian cuisine. The stems can be grilled and the leaves make a good garnish. And lastly, the oil is added to perfumes, candy, condiments, toothpaste, and sambuca. So, you want to forage some fennel in the wild even after the stuff I said about vomiting and poison hemlock? Well, okay, but don't say I didn't warn you. You'll first need to start in the right areas. Fennel is naturally found in the Mediterranean regions, but it's become naturalized in South America and Australia too. It's also cultivated worldwide. It was also introduced into North America by Spanish priests and still grows wild around old mission sites. Mission priests would spread fennel stems on the floor so the pleasant aroma was released as the congregation entered. Talk about a retention strategy. The leaves are almost hair-like and they can grow up to 2 meters tall. You also see small yellow flowers that bloom between August and October on wild fennel. Look for it in very sunny areas and well-drained soil, and it prefers disturbed areas like old farm fields and exposed paths. When foraging for wild fennel, don't collect from the roadside or other locations where the plants are exposed to car exhaust or dogs. Go in the back of a lot or in areas where people don't walk their dogs. Also take only a few fronds from each plant. Don't remove an entire plant at once. Finally, today fennel is farmed for its various commercial uses, with India being the largest fennel producing country. In 2019, the industry growth of fennel was almost 9% annually, which speaks to its rising popularity today as an aromatherapy and pharmaceutical additive. India alone produces 150,000 tons of fennel yearly at an estimated export value of $360 million. Fennel also fills many household gardens because it attracts beneficial insects, bees, and birds. Unfortunately, it's also considered a highly invasive plant by many, and efforts to combat it with pesticides has caused chemical leaching into waterways and soils. Further research is currently being done on improving control of wild fennel without these damaging effects. Now, it's recipe time. The simplest way to prepare wild fennel, after you've identified it of course, is to simply cook the fennel fronds for 15 minutes in boiling water until it begins to wilt. Then drain the water and combine the cooked fennel fronds with seasoned breadcrumbs. Take this mixture and pan fry it in some olive oil for 5 minutes until gold brown and crispy, and you've got a delicious treat. Try it if it grows in your area.